when Sheila and I started dating, we were two very messed up people with my drinking and being an alcoholic. I had been drinking since I was 13 years old. My mindset, my concept, my lack of biblical understanding, my lack of having a relationship with God, it just had my worldview messed up. And then Sheila also, in her story, will tell you that she had some issues, and that in those issues, one of the things that she was dealing with was the abortion. And we didn't really talk about any of those things before we got married. We were just in love. We wanted to be married. And then about a year and a half into being married, one of the things that I was noticing is that there was a very different girl at home with me every day when I came home. One day when I would come in, she would be curled up on the couch crying. The next day I would come in and she's like June Cleaver. She's got the whole place cleaned up and everything's going wonderful. And then the next time I come in, she might be like hysterically laughing. And so I knew there was some issues that both of us had. And then one evening she had decided that she needed to tell me what had happened in her life, and she talked to me. This was a year and a half in, about the abortion. And I guess a lot of people have asked about how did I react, and honestly, not having a biblical background, having understanding or relationship with God, I didn't act from a place of salvation. I didn't act from a place of knowing the Lord and how to treat people, but I just knew that I needed to love her, and I needed to love her right where she was, and from that point forward, that the two of us together would be able to find some peace for her and some healing for her. And so we did the wrong thing to begin with, and not that all psychology is wrong, but we took her, we made appointments for a psychiatrist, and that didn't work out. All we did was waste money and make the situation worse. And then one day she told me that she had heard about this Bible study that she wanted to go to. And that Bible study, I thought, well, this is a possibility of an answer, because I knew who God was. I just didn't have a relationship with him. And she made an appointment to go to that Bible study, and as she left that night, I honestly was like excited, thinking that this was the beginning of the journey. And then she came home about 10:30 or 11, and she had been out drinking with her friends. She didn't go to the Bible study. And so we went through that actually 2 more times. She would make the appointment to go to the Bible study, and then she would come back home after being out drinking with her friends. And then the 4th time, surprisingly, the pregnancy center said, yes, come on. After the 3rd time, they were willing to have her come again. And on that 4th time, it stuck. She went and she began this journey of healing over the next 10, 12 weeks, and God did a miraculous work in her. Well, what she did is she got reintroduced to Jesus. She got her life back on a silver platter, as she says. And in that moment, I was still an alcoholic, and I couldn't go to the next place with her. And so in 92, she got her healing, but from 92 to 2000, I kind of held her back from being able to go and do the things that God had called her to do. Now, she did lead Bible studies there at the pregnancy center, and she worked in the pro-life movement for a couple of years, and then in 94 we moved to Nashville. And from 94 to 98 we were sporadically in and out of church. And then we had this glorious day, September 6, 1998. I was sitting at Cornerstone Church. I was in the 3rd row back, the aisle seat, left-hand side of the building, and God spoke to me. And my life dramatically changed at that point. And even with this radical change in my life, I was delivered from alcohol. I have not drank since, haven't done drugs since. Even in that incredible moment that God had given me, we started talking about how ministry and what we would do for the Lord and how our lives would change. And she mentioned about going and talking to the pastor and going to start this Bible study at our church, and I was reluctant. I was there was a fear that she was going to be ridiculed, or that our family was going to be ridiculed. There was like this thing in me that didn't want to expose this to the world. And so out of fear, I was concerned about that. But then finally, the Lord changed both of us. And so she got to talk to the pastor. The pastor said, yes, I want this Bible study to start. And that's when SaveOne started in 2000. We got our not-for-profit status in 2000. And in the beginning, Sheila and I worked together, but we were separate. I had a business, and Sheila was doing the Bible study and beginning in this process of growing this incredible ministry. And my role in that was to be able to help fund what was happening through the business. And then in 2007, God called us to plant a church. Well, we planted the church, and we were there for 11 years. And then in that 11th year, or in the 10th year, almost to the 11th year part, God very clearly spoke to us and said that we needed to work in SaveOne together. And so this thing where we had been at the church separate but together, in business, and her in ministry separate but together, finally in 2018 in September, we became one, working together for SaveOne. And when we did that, the power of the unity that God put with us and through us just became visible on many, many fronts. We saw the ministry expand. We saw the giving expand to the ministry. We saw the amount of ministry that was happening continue to grow. And in all of those things, we knew that God was blessing the unity of she and I working together. So we have seen what was a little bit of ministry happening with men. All of a sudden, that has turned into every single training that we have done, I think, since 2018, have included men in the trainings. We are raising up an army of captains who are actually helping on the front lines and then releasing other men into ministry. We are seeing the men's movement not only come to us for help, but beyond that, they are helping others. So this thing where in the Bible where it says that we're to comfort others with the comfort that we've been comforted with in 2 Corinthians, that's happening in SaveOne through the men's ministry. And then we've partnered with these huge organizations. We've been invited into rooms that we would have never been able to walk in. God just continues to open doors and to do some incredible things. And so if I could just speak to the guys that are sitting out there, and I've had men come to me over and over and over, and this is what I want to just say to you, is that there are some of you guys that are out there that you have married into the situation where your spouse has had an abortion and you never knew about it. And can I just tell you, it's okay to grieve that moment. It's okay to grieve the loss of a child that you never even knew about, but you should be involved in the parenting process. It's okay to hurt, and it's okay to walk through the process of healing. It's okay to be able to empower her. It's okay to walk with her in that tough moment, and then to rejoice with her in the victories when they come. So one of the things that we did is we had the women's Bible study, we had the men's Bible study, and then we also had the ripple effect. And that's exactly where you belong, is in the Bible study for the ripple effect, because what the ripple effect is for those who were thrust into the abortion situation, but you really didn't have anything to do with it. You didn't participate in it, but you're having to deal with the aftermath. And so what we want you to know is there's healing in that journey, that there is strength in that journey, and we want you to know that you can walk with your spouse, and that you can help her all along the way. So What we're doing now, that started as a simple Bible study at our church 20 years ago, has become a global ministry that's on 5 continents. We're in 25 different countries. The books that were the original book has been translated into 20 different languages, and we have 300 chapters around the world. And all of those chapters are raising truth tellers, an army of truth tellers. I'm Jack Harper, and I'm a truth teller.